Good evening, everybody from Scottsdale Community College. My name's Seth Askelson, along with Adrian Palaio. We're back to bring you Glendale Community College Gauchos football. Adrian, how you doing tonight?
You know, Seth, I'm doing really good tonight. I'm ready to watch some JUCO football, and tonight we got for you the second game of the season for the Gauchos as the Gauchos take on the Fighting Artichokes of Scottsdale Community College, coming in with a record of 0-1, but the Gauchos are definitely going to be looking to strike back and get their first win of the season here today, Seth.
Last week, like you said, they were 0-1. They are lost 21-14 in a tough offensive showing. What are you wanting to see out of the offense today?
You know, from the offense, I want to see more out of these two quarterbacks. I want to see how they work together again. I want to see a little bit more passing. Only had about 70 passing yards in between the two of them last week. And I definitely want to see a little bit better tackling from the special teams unit. They gave up some really tough returns last week. And I want to see if that kicker can get the spider webs out of him a little bit. Had 2 field goals blocked last week. And I just hope he can get his stuff back on track this week, Seth.
Yeah, we'll see. We have the national anthem right now. We will be back here on the Live Gauchos Network.
Whoa.
And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a little under 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter.
back to Scottsdale Community College. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We did have some new equipment that we are testing out. It wasn't working out too well, so hopefully this works a little better for us. The Gauchos only down 21-7, nothing too exciting. They did have an interception, but did not get anything out of it. And now there's going to be a run play by Scottsdale, and there's another tackle. And it's going to bring up a third down. Scottsdale buried in their own territory. It's going to be a 3rd down and 7 from their own 13-yard line. So the Gauchos were able to flip field position a little bit. Their defense can get a stop here, maybe get something going.
And we have a flag coming out on the field very late. You got to wonder if it's going to be due to trash talking or some kind of unsportsmanlike conduct at the end of that play. A little less than 8 minutes left to go here. We're going to see what this penalty is. Once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties, as the call is going to come in on the penalty. And it's going to be a legal substitution call against Scottsdale, so that's going to move them even farther into their own territory, especially on this 3rd down. That's a tough one to get. 3rd down and 12 it is going to be now. So a couple of touchdown passes, 3 I should say, for Barry.
Yeah, you said Barry with a couple of touchdown passes, a 53-yard screen pass. Actually has 3, threw one in the corner of the end zone to his receiver, and then Cujo Young, the former Gaucho, catching the last touchdown pass. So very good start for Barry, but he did throw an interception. And so the Gauchos looking to get themselves back into this game. 7:51 left here in the second quarter. Like we said, thank you for sticking with us through those technical difficulties. It's the Gauchos 7, the Artichokes 21, and we're still waiting for the play to get going. And we are going to get rolling, it looks like, here, as Barry's going to be in the shotgun for Scottsdale. It's going to be Pfizer that's next to him, and we've got more whistles. And
well, it didn't look like the play clock started, and it was a dead ball foul, so the play clock stopped. But the referees are conferring once again. Once again, under 8 minutes left to go. If you're just joining us, 21-7 the score. Scottsdale in the lead after 3 touchdown passes from Barry. And they're going to give the 2nd down back to Scottsdale, so it is now 2nd down and 12. They called it after the play, so it appeared as though it was a dead ball foul, but nonetheless, 4 wideouts, and Barry back to pass, open down the middle and caught. And it is going to be caught. I don't know how he caught it. Caught it as he was sliding, and Jackson Jr. is able to get that one for a big gain, but there are flags on the field once again. And you got to wonder if this one's coming back as well. Scottsdale with a nice pass there from Barry over to Jackson, who already has a touchdown reception today.
Well, they actually called it no catch. And there's an illegal man downfield in the offense, one of the offensive linemen sneaking down there a little too early. And so the illegal man downfield is going to hurt the Artichokes. And it's going to be 2nd down again for the Artichokes. They were at 3rd and 7, and they are keep getting backed up, but they still have 2 chances. And Barry hasn't been the worst quarterback on the field tonight, so we'll see if Scottsdale can get themselves out of this hairy situation here. Now at 2nd and 17 on their own 2-yard line. Because they're on their own 2, Barry's going to get under center. And we've seen some under center troubles from the Gauchos early this season. And the running back is not going to be able to get away. He's going to get pulled in the end zone, but they're going to mark him down at the 2. It's going to be 3rd down and 17, and the Gauchos defense is responding extremely well.
Absolutely, a couple of lucky penalty calls there, but definitely doing the job when they have to there, try to get to the outside, but absolutely nothing doing there, and the Gauchos defense doing a good job of wrapping up and keeping them deep into their own territory, and it's going to be 3rd and very, very long. And if you're Scottsdale, you want to just run this up the middle. Just make sure that you do not get a safety on this one right here. 6.5 left to go in the first half. Don't want to give up any foolish interceptions or fumbles here. And from the shotgun, it is going to be Barry. And he has 4 wideouts. And those linebackers getting in there a little bit, maybe for a blitz. Looking over to his bench, and it is going to be a timeout called by Scottsdale. And when we come back, 6.5 minutes left to go in the first half of play. And we will be back here on the Gauchos live stream network.
Welcome back to Scottsdale Community College. Seth Askelson, Adrian Palayo. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Saturday night. A little muggy, but it's at least beautiful in this press box with some nice air conditioning here. So it's going to be 3rd and 16 for Scottsdale. Barry's going to go under center. He's going to fake the visor, and they're going to miss the sack, and he's going to throw it away. They had a chance for a sack, and the linebacker whiffed, and he is upset at himself. The linebacker for the Gauchos who missed was Steven Brezovisky, and Brezovisky had it, and he just got out of the way. Barry did, and the Gauchos should still feel good about that, as now they bring up a 4th and 16, and the heels of the punter are on the back line of the end zone.
Yeah, the defender looked like he went to ground a little bit too early. Had he kept pursuing the quarterback, he only went a little bit laterally. And so if he had just kept pursuing him a little bit, forced the issue a little bit more, the moment he dived, that quarterback had a little bit more room as the punt is up, and it is going to be field added around the 45, dropped a little bit, but picked up once again, and he has a little bit of room on the outside, and he's going to get there, and he's still going. A flag thrown. Actually, a couple of flags are thrown, and we're going to see what the calls are here, but the return is going to be taken out to about the 25-yard line. So really good field position for the Gauchos coming into this drive, and we just have to see what these calls are going to be.
Yeah, it looks like a block in the back, as it was a good pickup there by Gregory Scott. He got out to the left, got up to the 30, but instead we might be pulling it back. Yep, and it's going to be on Jared Beeman, the receiver, who's had an okay night. We've called his name a couple times, playing well into the offense, a block in the back, and he's not playing well into the offense very well right now, driving him back. An offense that has struggled outside of their first drive.
Yeah, now that's going to set up a little bit difficult for the Gauchos offense. Originally, they would have been at the 25-yard line, but now they're going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Still a good field position nonetheless. Brown back into the game at quarterback, and that is going to be Gregory Scott, the tailback, setting up on his right side. 3 wideouts in total for Brown as he waits for the snap. Looks like the defensive line almost jumped a little bit early there as Brown takes the snap, rolls out to his right, looking for a pass, nearly gets wrapped up there, has some room to run there, evades a tackle, and he evades a couple more, and at the end of the day, he's going to get a first down here for the Gauchos, taking it out to the 27-yard line.
And down the field was Jake LaRue. He was wide open. If Brown had picked his head up and just ripped it to the end zone, he would have had an easy touchdown. And LaRue was coming back to the line saying, hey, I was open. Look for me. But Brown, either way, he made good use with his feet. He didn't turn the ball over. And now it's a first down, as when you do get out of the pocket and break a tackle like that, you do need to look up field, because some of your receivers are going to start to break open as the coverage starts to look back in towards the quarterback. And Brown's going to look back towards the sideline for the play. He's going to have Gregory Scott with him in the backfield on the right. He's got 3 receivers to the left, 1 to his right. Now Brown's waiting around potentially for the play call. Now the referees allow for a snap, and the play clock starts. Brown waits for the shotgun snap. Here comes the snap. It's a 4-man rush from Scottsdale. He's in trouble, and he breaks one tackle, can't get away from another, and he is dragged down at number 31 of Scottsdale. That's Chris Jules. He blew up the left tackle, literally pushed the left tackle over, got in there, got the initial hit. Brown slipped him. He had another one of his teammates come in and help out, and he was able to regain grip on the ankle and drag down Brown.
Yeah, and there's nothing that Brown really could have done there. It was in between the tackles, so if he tries to throw it there, he's going to get flagged for a penalty anyway. So tries his best to evade the sack, but at the end of the play, it's going to set up a second and very, very long, about 22 yards to the first down marker. As the running back goes to his right, 3 wide receivers on the left for Brown. Takes the snap, getting pressure once again, and he's going to take another sack. And once again, that Scottsdale defense coming in absolutely tough and taking down Brown again, setting up a third and enormous amount of yards.
Yeah, and Gregory Scott, he took that fake handoff, took the play action, and after that play action, he's swiveling his head looking for somebody to block. And while he's looking around, the defender gets right by him. The defender there was Tyrell Cummings. He got right by Gregory Scott as Scott was looking around for somebody to block, and he got dropped. As now Gregory Scott might have got pulled from after that pass protection. That's going to be Rashi Hodge. And that was a 3rd and 25. Brown looks. A little screen to Hodge. Hodge gets by one defender at the 40. He's at the 35, and he's going to get down to the 32-yard line. It is definitely going to be short, but the Gauchos are once again getting a chance to pin Scottsdale deep. And the last time they were an inch away from a safety.
And now it looks like we have a GCC player down. That is Hodge, and that's very scary to look at. He tried to get up and immediately went down after putting pressure on that ankle, and he's going down to ground now. And that's not what you want to see. Really good job by Hodge these last two games of getting some good rushing yards. And you saw they're able to make something out of basically nothing, evading some tackles on that quick screen pass. And when we come back, we'll have a little update for you on Hodge and the rest of this first half of play. Scottsdale in the lead 21-7 on the Gauchos live stream network. Back in Scottsdale here, Adrian Palau joined by Seth Askelson. 3:44 left to go in the first half of play, and GCC on the ball. John Brown with the running back to his left. Back in Scottsdale here, Adrian Palau joined by Seth Askelson. 3:44 left to go in the first half of play as Brown rolls out to his left. John Brown passes it out. Back in Scottsdale here, Adrian Palau joined by Seth Askelson. They went for it on 3:44 left to go in the first half of play. Brown rolls out to his left. John Brown passes it out. Back in Scottsdale here, Adrian Palau joined by Seth Askelson. 3:44 left to go in the first half of play. Brown rolls out to his left. John Brown passes it out. Back in Scottsdale here, Adrian Palau joined by Seth Askelson. 3:44 left to go in the first half of play. Brown rolls out to the left. John Brown passes it out. While we were out due to technical difficulties. 21-7 the score here if you're just joining us here in the second quarter. And Seth, what are you looking from the Scottsdale offense late into this first half? They're definitely going to want to look to get on the board at least once more in this first half.
Yes, for Scottsdale, they just need to keep doing what made them good early on. Use that run to set up the pass. That's what they've been doing. There's a reason Barry has 3 touchdown passes because they've been able to use that run effectively. And we'll see what they do here as there's a handoff to Pfizer, who's going to get taken down by a pile of Gauchos at the 26-yard line. And here comes a flag as we've seen a lot of pushing and shoving. And so we'll see what we have going here.
Yeah, just, getting a little bit of a run gain there was Pfizer. And we're going to see what the penalty is right now. It would look to be after the play, maybe a little bit of extracurricular activity gone wrong there. And still waiting for the call here. But the Gaucho defense needs to step it up here against this Scottsdale offense that has proved worthy enough of these 21 points they've put on them. And late into this first half of play, they're going to need something big here to give them some momentum going into the second half of play, as that is going to be against Scottsdale, and it's going to move them back. A little bit over 3 minutes left to go in this first half, and the GCC defense needs another big play like that interception they had earlier on in the first half.
Yeah, that's really been the only stop they have, and GCC, when they stopped Scottsdale on that last drive, other than that interception, that's the first time they've made Scottsdale punt. And so for the Gauchos defense, it's all about turning 1 into 2 here. And right now you can't turn one mistake into 2. And they're back, the Artichokes, that is, are back at 2nd down and 10. Ball at the 13, 3:05 left and counting here in the first half. The Artichokes lead 21-7. A man to the right and then stops, and now the snap to Barry. Barry looks, he's going to get away from the Gauchos rush. Barry is going to get to the 19-yard line, and the Gauchos this time a little smarter, not hitting Barry as he gets out of bounds or slides, and it's going to be a loss of 1. And it's actually 3rd and 18, a little hard to read the scoreboard in this stadium. It is a brand new scoreboard for Scottsdale Community College. 8s sometimes look like 10s as everything starts to mesh together in this fast sport. So now it's actually it was 3rd and 18, now it's 3rd and 13. And so the Scottsdale at their own 18-yard line. Scottsdale 2.5 minutes to get the ball down the field, but they might be content with running the clock out as much as they can to get into the half, even though the Gauchos are going to get the ball back coming out of halftime. Barry's going to get the shotgun snap. He looks, and now he's going to get around one rusher. Here comes another, and it's a throw to the running back, and he drops it, and Scottsdale is going to come out the field. That was Pfizer this time. He gets the ball thrown to him, and it just hits him in the hands, and he drops it.
Yeah, it was always going to be a little bit hard to catch that one, a little bit behind him, but unable to get his hands on that one. That's going to set up a fourth down. But more importantly for the Gauchos, it's going to give them at least 2 minutes to get the ball up the field and get a nice score going into the second half of this one. Get some nice momentum going into the second half, and they're going to definitely have some good field position going into it. As we're going to see the Scottsdale punter out for, I think, about the fourth time today.
This is going to be the second time for the Scottsdale punter today as he punts it deep. And going back forward is Tristan Decker. Decker's going to catch it out of bounds. And it's going to be at the 45-yard line of Glendale. So Glendale only needing 55 yards to get into the end zone. They do have 210. We saw last week the Gauchos ran a pretty good, efficient offense towards the end of the game when they scored their 14th point to pull that game within 7. Let's see if they can pull out that same offense because they are getting the ball back when the second half starts.
Absolutely, and they do have all three of their timeouts right now, so they definitely have time to move the ball and time to stop the clock if they absolutely need to. And once again, 2:10 is on the clock, and coming back out is going to be John Brown. And we're going to see what's going to go here. 4 wideouts here, actually 3 wideouts, 2 to his right. And we're going to see if the GCC offense can get something going into the second half, as it is a handoff up the middle. And that is going to be a loss of about 1 on the play.
And that was a very odd handoff from Brown. Brown kind of started running with the running back. The running back there coming in is Taylor Fiame. We saw Gregory Scott struggle in pass protection. Then we saw the next play, Hodge get helped off the field with what looked like a right ankle injury. And now it's going to be Fiame in the backfield as Brown's going to wait for his shotgun snap. He gets it. Looks right. He's going to throw, and a good catch there by his receiver. That was Michael Woods, and he keeps moving his feet. He's going to get a first. No, he's going to be a yard short of the first down, and there's going to be a timeout. Woods, we didn't really call his name last week, but he's made himself an integral part of this offense here in the first half.
Yeah, has made himself known in this game here against Scottsdale. Got hit by a little bit of a side shuffle there by the referee. We initially thought that it was going to be a first down, but the spot is going to make it a little bit short, and that is why the Glendale Gauchos are taking that timeout with a minute and a half left to go. It's going to set up a 3rd and 1 going into this one when we come back on the Gauchos live stream network. A big 3rd down and 1 play for the Gauchos. Back in here at Scottsdale, 3rd down and 1, a minute and a half left to go. And once again, Fiame over there with Brown. He has 4 wideouts, 2 to the left and 2 to the right as he takes the snap. Handoff is to Fiame, finds a little hole, and he's able to make his way through, as that is actually number 32, Gregory Scott on the run. And he gains a nice chunk of yardage there. Good for a GCC first down, and that will stop the clock initially. But it is going to be a timeout for Glendale once again, their second of the half, with 1:22 left to go. So electing to take their timeout right now instead of running the no huddle really quickly. Seth, what do you make of that?
Well, I think you want to save some time. You have 122 and you have 1 timeout, so you don't want to get into a situation where you're trying to hurry up. You've run a couple of good plays. Maybe discuss what you're going to do. That was a good run play coming out of a timeout on a 3rd and 1, and a team who had been struggling offensively handed right off the middle, and a running back who we haven't really seen in this season went right out the middle to pick up 15 yards and get his team into a position where maybe they could even try for a field goal if they move the ball another 10 yards.
Absolutely. And 1st and 10, it's going to be now on the Scottsdale 35. Glendale needing a touchdown to get some good momentum going into the second half, as Brown's going to have three wide receivers to his left, one to his right, and Gregory Scott to his left as his running back. As he takes the snap, rolls out to the left, and on the sack is the Scottsdale defense. Looked like he might have been grabbed by the face mask, but nonetheless, a huge loss on the play, and that is not going to be good for the GCC offense, setting up a second and very long.
Boston Sanders got around the left side, and unfortunately Brown started moving out of the pocket, and he got.
Now they're going to go into hurry up offense here, Seth. Now they're going to hurry up right here. As going into it is Brown, passing it out to the right side, almost completed. Looked like he had his hands right on it, but initially dropping it right after the contact is made.
Well, and the ball bounced to the receiver. Brown tried to get that ball out of his hands quickly. We talked about getting the ball out of the hands quickly that we saw to the Phoenix quarterback last week. Brown had been doing a really good job of that. When he was getting the ball out of his hands, he was getting some good completions, but he has been wildly inaccurate tonight. And now it's going to be a third down and 18, and Brown with a quick throw too far for his receiver, and it looked like the receiver stopped running the route. That was Raymond Powell's, and he kept moving and got stopped.
And it looks like we have a flag on the play as the punt formation makes their way onto the field. It seemed as though there was a flag that was thrown down, but nonetheless, punt formation here for the Gauchos as Rasmussen is going to look to pin the Scottsdale Artichokes deep into their own territory with just under 45 seconds left to go in this one. You'd imagine Scottsdale is going to just run out the clock here, and a little bit of a missed opportunity here for the Gauchos at the end of the first half, as that is a high one by Rasmussen. No fair catch called, and that is going to just drop, and a little bit of time going to be wasted here, and it is going to be stopped at the 9-yard line, and that is where the Artichokes will set up shop with 31 seconds left to go in the first half of play. And when Scottsdale get back, they will have a 21-7 lead late in this first half. Back in with 31 seconds, and it looks like it is going to be taking a knee for Scottsdale as the defense wraps around the Artichokes offensive line. That is exactly what they're going to do. 25 seconds left in the first half of play. And the second half is going to be interesting one to watch. We've had three touchdowns on the pass from Barry. But what's really going to be interesting to see how the GCC offense responds in the second half. Has had, a little bit of a quiet game, Seth, but they're definitely going to want to come out in the second half on firing on all cylinders. A little bit of a run game going from both quarterbacks, but the passing game has a little bit lacking, getting some quick passes off, but when it comes to the deep pass, they're not very accurate with their throws, are they?
Yeah, and in particular, John Brown and Akil Abdullah in his one series, he wasn't much better, but Brown, he's trying to get that ball out of his hands quick. He had a man open down the seam, and I know it was a low snap and the rush was coming, but if you want to be a clutch quarterback, you got to stand there. You got to make sure you make that throw because that could have easily been a 20-yard gain on the catch, let alone the run after that. So we'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream. The Gauchos trailing the Artichokes 21-7. Thank you for joining us here on this beautiful Saturday night. We'll be back on the Gauchos live stream network. Welcome back to Scottsdale Community College. Seth Askelson, Adrian Palaio. Some first half stats. First for your Gauchos.
has a block, and he makes his way down the middle, and Neal is going to take this one all the way for a touchdown on the return. That's going to end up being about a 60-yard return for Neal. And what a what a return from him, picking it up on the bounce, evading tackles initially, and then with a nice return, taking it all the way back to the farm. And now it's 27-7 Artichokes. And wow, we saw it last week on special teams too, and just again not doing a good job wrapping up there on special teams. Gave up some big returns last week, and you just saw it right there, giving up a punt return touchdown and lining up for the PAT now is going to be the kicker for Scottsdale, and that's going to be Marquez. And Marquez lining up for the PAT, and it is going to be good for Marquez. So when we come back, 28-7 is now, as a matter of fact, it was no good on the extra point, as it is no good on that one, and it's still 27-7. 13:08 left to go in this third quarter. Scottsdale leads here on the Gaucho live stream network. Back here in Scottsdale, Arizona, nice, cool night, or at least for us here in the press box. 13:08 left to go in the third quarter. 27-7 after the 60-yard return from Devin Neal, and now set to be kicked off from the 35-yard line is Macias, the punter for the Artichokes. Back deep to return for the Gauchos is going to be Jared Beeman, number 23. 27-7, not the way you want to start out the first half. Quick out on the drive and then giving up a punt return for a touchdown. As that's going to be Beeman taking it now. Gets it out to the 20. The 22 is where he's going to be met by a group of Artichokes, and that's where they're going to set up, Seth. And, they didn't do so well in that last offensive drive. What do they need to do differently in this one?
They need to get back to gaining chunk yardage, 4 or 5 yards at a time. We saw when this Gauchos offense was successful, they were gaining good amount of yards to put themselves in manageable situations in later downs. They were getting down the field. That's how they scored their first touchdown. They missed a field goal, and they have driven a couple times without any points. But it's not about the big play right now. I know you're down near 3 touchdowns, but just stay patient and keep doing what you're doing. You still have pretty much a full half of football left.
Absolutely. And, obviously losing Rashi Hodge is not going to be anything you want to do. He was a big, crucial part of that offensive game plan, and we have a flag on the field. And it's going to be a legal substitution penalty on the Gauchos. And as I was mentioning, losing Rashi Hodge is obviously going to be a big blow to you. And so they're going to definitely look for some increased gameplay from Gregory Scott, maybe get some yardage out of him. And we haven't seen all that much out of Carter today. Seth, really haven't seen him on the field at all. And he had a pretty good showing last week at Phoenix.
Yeah, Carter did, but they liked. I talked to Coach Bell, and they didn't really like Carter's pass protection, so they liked Scott and Hodge better as Scott gets pushed back by a host of Scottsdale defenders to bring up second down and pretty much at the same spot back to the line of scrimmage where they're giving him at the 18-yard line. But Coach Bell, he liked Hodge and Scott better, but with Hodge out, we might see James a lot more in the game.
Absolutely. And still a big gain needed here as it is going to be third down, I believe. It says third down on the marker. Yeah, it's going to be third down and 14. Brown here. And it's going to be Gregory Scott on his left-hand side. He has three wideouts. In shotgun formation, cornerback comes into press. Handoff is going to be to Scott and needs a block and doesn't get it. Spins his way out of it, but is not going to be able to gain much. And at the end, gains nothing on the play, and that's going to bring up a fourth down punting formation.
It actually was second down. It is now third down. And unfortunately, that corner came up to press. Like you said, that was Travion Clayton came up to press, and he dropped back once the snap was off, And Sinclair Fahrenholt just whiffed on the block, and that's how that run play got blown out. And so now it is 3rd and 13, and it is going to be John Brown in the shotgun set. Brown's going to get the snap. He's going to look right. Quick throw. It's out, and it is caught by Beeman. He's going to get a couple yards, slips a couple tackles, but it's not going to be enough for the first down. Jared Beeman, a lot of effort, but unfortunately it's going to be just short, and the Gauchos are going to bring out the punting unit one more time.
Yeah, Beeman did a nice job of evading some tackles and kind of just pushing, trying to fall his way into that first down, but just falling a little bit short. Actually, a little bit shorter than we thought he had actually gotten. And it's going to be about 4th down and 5. And Rasmussen is going to punt for the second time already in this half. 4th down and 4 here.
Yeah, and 4th and 5. And the last time the Gauchos punt unit was out there, it gave up a touchdown to not make this game any closer. And now Rasmussen waiting for the snap, and he gets it off, almost blocked, but he's going to get it wobbly to the 35. It's going to bounce to the 30 to the 25, and now it's picked up by the returner, and it's going to be out to the left side, and dragged down finally was Devin Neal. And so, once again, Scottsdale is going to start in Glendale territory at about the 45-yard line.
Yeah, just a nice return once again by Neal. Nothing really he can do on that one. It bounced right in his hands while he was in stride. And, just a nice job of getting the tackle there. Good field position for the Artichokes.
And Neal, after that punt was off, because Rasmussen almost got it blocked, a lot of the Gauchos players were still back there making sure they had good protection. Neal picks up that ball. The closest Gaucho is about 10 yards down the field, and that's, like you said, he caught it in stride, ahead of steam, and he got out to the 47-yard line. Now here's the snap and the handoff, and it is going to be to the left side this time for Scottsdale. It's going to be Pfizer, and it'll be a 5-yard gain, bringing up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, we mentioned Pfizer earlier on. 96 yards coming into the half, and now it's up to 101 on that 5-yard gain. He's been a crucial part of this run game, the only part of this run game really for Scottsdale, setting up that run really nicely, so that way Barry can set up those passes when he needs to. And it's going to be Pfizer on the left-hand side of Barry, 3 wideouts for him. And Barry's going to take the snap. Handoff is to Pfizer. Goes to the left. Evades some tackles. Evades some more. Unable to wrap up are the Gauchos. And he gets the first down after evading quite some amount of tackles, about 4 or 5 there.
Pfizer got around the first tackle. Then he was being held on by the GCC defender. He drags that defender all the way to the 37-yard line, where it is just good enough for the first down. The referees are now having the chains move. And right now, Scottsdale running an efficient offense. Like we said, only 5 completions for Barry. They're only really having him throw in the red zone. And so why would you fix what's not broken? Pfizer had 96 yards, and he's definitely over 100 now after that run. Now here is the first down play, the snap, and it is a handoff there to Neal, and it is actually going to be number 8, Cujo Young. And now it'll bring up a 2nd down.
And I think that was actually number 9, Quentin Bolton on the run, and able to get about a 4-yard gain on that one. And it's going to set up a 2nd down and 7 now. Ball's going to be on the 34-yard line for Scottsdale. Really pushing it here, already up 27-7 over the Gauchos. And they're just not letting up here. Barry, with the running back to his right, 3 receivers. And taking the snap now. And the handoff is given. Jumps over a couple defenders, gets a cutout to the right-hand side, makes his way towards the goal line, and then is just pushed out at around the 3-yard line.
Quentin Bolton saw that hole out to the right side, and Bolton gets around one defender, and once he does, he makes sure he gets right to the sideline and then straight up, and he's going to get down to the Gauchos 4. And Scottsdale knocking on the door again. They had 3 touchdowns in the first half, and the Gauchos defense, the first time they're out there this half, is not going too well for them.
The 5'9" man from Chicago just making his way to the outside and just using his speed very nicely to get over there and get a first down and goal here for the Artichokes.
So it's going to be 1st and goal at the 4. Here's the snap to Barry. Barry hands it off to Bolton. Bolton gets up the middle. He's met by a couple Gauchos, and he's going to be down at the half-yard line. So the Gauchos, their first test at the goal line, they get the stop. And so they're going to have to try it probably 3 more times. You got to think, if you're Scottsdale, you're down here, you're going to punch it in, and you're going to try 3 times.
Yeah, this is 3 down territory. They're not gonna really. I don't want to say try with a field goal, but they know that they can punch the GCC offense deep in there as they try to punch it in there. And we're looking to see if they got it in. It was a quarterback draw, and they did. So Barry just punching it in from the 1 yard mark, and that's going to put 6 more points on the board. It's going to be 33-7. Just punching it in was Barry.
And Barry, when he took that snap, he dropped. He started to move backwards like he was going to go for the handoff, and he takes 1.5 steps back, and then he drives forward right through that pile. He dives in. It took the referees a second, but it definitely looked like he broke through the pile. As here comes the extra point in the Gauchos defense. Has to be deflated as here's the snap, ball down, kick is up, and it is good despite the block attempt there from number 14, DJ Charles. When we come back here on the Gauchos live stream network, 7:52 left in the third quarter. Artichokes 34, your Gauchos 7. We'll be back. Welcome back to Scottsdale Community College. Seth Askelson, Adrian Palaio. The Gauchos down 34-7. The first 2 times the Artichokes have had the ball, a punt return for a touchdown and a 6-play, 47-yard drive that took 2 minutes and 39 seconds, finished off with a 1-yard run from quarterback Grayson Berry. Here comes the kickoff from Scottsdale. Once again, only 13 passes from Berry as here comes a short kickoff picked up at the 20-yard line, and the Scottsdale punt team or kick team got right up the field to hold up Alonzo Alexander from any great run back. For Scottsdale, only 13 passes for Barry, 0 passes on that drive. So he's still at 13 pass attempts, and the run game is still working, giving it to Pfizer. We saw Bolton there pick up at least 30 yards on that drive, and then punched in by Barry himself.
Absolutely. You have Pfizer who can run it up the middle, just get those bruising yards, and you also have Bolton who can run it to the outside, get that speed in, and then just finishing up was Barry himself, just punching it in for a 1 yard score. As I believe that is Abdullah out there now, Seth, and we are going to see Abdullah go under center, and he had some trouble under center last week at Phoenix, as he is going to take the snap now and take it out to the right. He's going to be dragged down by his jersey, and that is going to be a huge loss on that sack as Abdullah just rolls out to his right away and just gets met by an artichoke.
We talked about Abdullah running last week, and he didn't do too much of it, I believe, in there on the sack. It was number 93, Jordan Watt, who we've seen disrupt the quarterback all night. And Abdullah really didn't run last game. He has a little bit here, but trying to get away from Watt. He threw a good stiff arm, but Watt held on and dragged him down. And now it's going to be 2nd and 23. And here's the snap for Abdullah. Abdullah hands it off to Scott, and he immediately dragged down at the 11, losing 2 yards. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 25. And the Gauchos offense has not looked great coming out in the second half.
Yeah, that offensive line just has to do a little bit better on the point of contact there. Just defending that front right there. You got to give your running back some room. And the moment he touched the ball, the moment he grabbed it, he was immediately met by at least 3 Scottsdale defenders and setting up a 3rd down and 23 here with about 6.5 minutes left to go. Abdullah in the shotgun, 3 wideouts to his left, and he's got pressure going. He's hit as he throws, and it's a big throw. Wide receiver was almost tackled as the throw was coming in. He was not catching it, but there is a flag thrown, and this most certainly is going to be defensive pass interference.
Yeah, Brian Smith Jr. running down the field, and like you said, it might be uncatchable or ruled uncatchable, but he was absolutely dragged down on the far side, and it looked like it was Vavrix Owens who dragged down the receiver, Smith Jr. No, they're going to call it on Omari McCauley, who was out of the game. We saw in the opening kickoff of the second half, looked like he may have broken his arm. Glad to see him back in, but I don't know how happy his coaches are with that pass interference. And it's going to give the Gauchos a free 1st down on what they had at 3rd and 23. So Abdullah is going to be in the shotgun. It looks like another running back in. Like we said, Rashi Hodge hurt in the second quarter. It's going to be Blake Dawson this time. And here's the snap to Abdullah. Hands it off to Dawson. Dawson goes left. He's at the 30. He's at the 35 and finally brought down at the 36-yard line. And it's going to bring up a 2nd and 1.
And that's just what you want out of a running back who's coming into the game for the first time. Just get a nice run to start things out. He gets some confidence in him. Now he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder going into this one. Dawson, number 24, as Abdullah out there again. Dawson to his left. And the handoff is going to be to Dawson. Finds a hole, gets out to the left-hand side, and once again, running for 11 yards, getting a quick first down, and Dawson immediately coming in this game and making a nice little impact, over 20 yards rushing already.
Yeah, 2 runs, and he's really speedy. He's getting that ball, and once he gets it and he finds that hole, he is hitting that hole quick. He's not waiting for any extra blocks. He's getting out there, and he's done a great job, like we said, but there is going to be a flag, and it's what looks like a holding. Number 67 for the Gauchos, that's Manuel Orona. And unfortunately, Dawson's second run in 2 plays that was great is coming back. We'll see if they go back to him. It's 1st and 20 now, and the Gauchos, we talked about, they can't be putting themselves in situations like this because they're having a hard time moving the ball. They are going to get 3 chances to get 20 yards, but it would be nice to have 3 chances to get 10 as Abdullah takes a shotgun snap. It's thrown to Dawson. It's tipped. He drops it. Oh, and he's cracked in the back. Almost gets folded in half there, but he stands back up, and he's running back towards the huddle. So it's good to see him get back up. That was a dangerous play he tried to make.
Yeah, that's a dangerous play in general. The ball was tipped up, and it just made it a little bit of a slow motion. You know, he's almost on the balls of his feet there, waiting for that ball. And the moment he catches it, he gets absolutely drilled. And that is a little bit of a gain, though. Sets up a 2nd down and 17. Nice job by him to catch that one. I formation here for the Gauchos. Dawson is the back, and it's going to be a run out to the right-hand side. Unable to find a hole, and he's taken down immediately by the Artichokes. It's going to be no gain on the play by Dawson.
And Jalen Spady getting up slowly. He's still not getting up for the Gauchos, an offensive lineman. Spady, 6'3" freshman out of Huntsville High School in Alabama. 330, he's a big boy on that offensive line, and he is struggling to get up. And we've seen the injuries plague the Gauchos tonight. When we come back, 5.5 left here in the 3rd quarter. The Artichokes 34, your Gauchos 7. We'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream network. Welcome back to Gauchos live stream network. Seth Askelson, Adrian Palaio, 5:20 left here in the 3rd quarter. The Gauchos down 34-7 to the Artichokes here in the 2nd game of the season. And now the Gauchos are in shotgun. It is 3rd and 17. Dawson, the tailback, back with Akil Abdullah. Abdullah gets a snap. There's a bunch of flags, and we will see what it is. Most likely a false start, and that's what it's going to be delayed game. So Akil Abdullah, right after what a quasi timeout as they had to help the injured Gaucho out the field, Jalen Spady, they come out and they could not get the playoff. They did come out late. When we left, left for the break, it was 5:30. When we came back, it was 5:20. If you notice, 10 seconds had ticked off both the game clock and the play clock, so they didn't get out there till about 5:20, and that could have caused a delayed game. Now it's 3rd and 22 for Abdullah. Abdullah drops, looks, gets around a sack off the left side, and now Abdullah looks, throws, and it is intercepted. And Abdullah rolling out to his right, throws it to Walter Calais. And Calais, great job being there. And I don't know where Abdullah was throwing that. He threw it over the head of a couple receivers at about the 35. And there was a receiver streaking across the 50. And Abdullah 0 for 7 now and an interception.
Yeah, Calais just doing a good job of reading that one, intercepting the ball. Actually lost his helmet in the process of that one. Turf might have came in contact with his helmet there, but just on the run, not the greatest throw, a little bit of an underthrow there. And it's going to be good field position here for the Artichokes starting out on their own 49-yard line. A little bit under 5 minutes left to go, already up 34-7, as it looks like it's going to be Barry from the shotgun, and he's got his big man Pfizer to his left, as well as three wide receivers. Barry from the shotgun looks immediately to the left, and he's got his wideout right there on the screen. And it looks like it's going to be Neal on that screen pass, getting 11 yards, good for the first down.
I don't know if that was planned. When Barry got that snap, he turned to his right, and it was either that was planned or he got mixed up. But when he turned back around, Neal was still wide open, got that pass, and it was 11-yard gain as the referees are waving the chains to get down the field. And so it's first down and 10. Like you said, the Artichokes starting at their own 49, now into Gaucho territory at the 41-yard line. Here comes this shotgun snap to Barry. Neal in motion. Neal with the jet sweep. And Neal's going to get around one tackle, but he can't get out of the reach of another by Brandon Lewis. Lewis wraps him up, and he has a couple more Gauchos coming in to drag him down.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a hole there to punch through, and if he had found that, it would have been daylight. But just a good job of wrapping by that Gaucho defender. No gain at the end of that one. Just reaching about 4 minutes left in this third quarter, 34-7 as Scottsdale leads. And it's going to be Pfizer to the left of Barry, three wideouts for him on the second down and 10 play from the 41-yard line. Barry to take it from the shotgun, fakes it to Pfizer, looking and going downfield, and it is going to be caught and met at around the 5-yard line. And I believe they're going to call it right there, forward progress. A bunch of Gauchos looking to rip the ball out, but it was complete.
Yeah, Cujo Young was running down, and that's the guy who made the catch. But initially, Khalik Muhammad was running down the seam, and I think Barry saw him. Well, Barry starts to wind up looking like he's going to Muhammad. The safety gets sucked into Muhammad. Cujo Young's wide open, and Young is the one who pulls it in. And so they ran two routes, two vertical routes down the middle of the field, and the Gauchos got sucked into one. And so the Gauchos once again on their own, back to their own goal line on the 5-yard line. And there's a roughing the passer call for the Gauchos. It's not going to matter too much on Angel Hutchinson, the freshman out of La Jolla High School here in Arizona. It's not going to really matter too much. It's going to move the ball to a 2 instead of a 4, but it doesn't change that the Gauchos are once again back to within their own 5-yard line. Barry giving out directions to his offensive lineman. He's going to get into the shotgun with Pfizer. He's got two receivers to his right, one to the left. Barry's still giving out instructions. The defense not showing blitz. Here's the snap. Barry looks. Fade route to Young, and he is not going to be able to catch it as he tries to one-hand grab it. And in coverage there for the Gauchos was DJ Charles. Charles bit on Cujo Young. He tried to press him. He missed, and unfortunately for Charles, that ball was a little too far.
Yeah, just a little bit too far. Nice, almost with a one-hand catch there, and just getting pushed out at the end of that one. They still have three more chances for this one. You got to imagine 4-down territory right here, punching it in probably right now. As it is going to be from the shotgun, Pfizer to the left of Barry, and looking really quick for the screen pass, but the Gauchos are all over, and we have two Gauchos taking him down immediately. And that was Muhammad on the catch.
And initially it looked like they were going to throw another fade route to Cujo Young. Good job there by DJ Charles. The last person on Cujo Young in the red zone was Devontae Loggins when Cujo Young made that touchdown catch. This time they put DJ Charles. Charles has done a good job. Muhammad caught that pass in the flat at the 4-yard line, and the Gauchos immediately swallowed in on that. And now it is a 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. So the Gauchos holding well, something they really haven't done all game. And now here is the snap to Barry. He's going to fake the sweep to Muhammad, and the Gauchos defense has wrapped up Pfizer, and it's going to be 4th down. We talked about going 4-down territory the last time the Artichokes were out, but it looks like they're going to bring on their field goal kicker, and it is the left-footed Kevin Macias.
And it's actually going to be Alfredo Marquez. He missed an extra point the last time out, so it's going to be interesting to see how he fares in this one. He's set up at around the 13-yard line, so it would be a 23-yard field goal for him. And getting ready for the 23-yard attempts, and it comes nearly blocked. And it is going to be good, so put 3 more points on the board. And a 30-point lead now for the Artichokes, as it is now 37-7 with just under 2 minutes left. And when we come back, GCC has a 30-point deficit to take themselves out of when we come back on the Gauchos live stream network.
Welcome back to Scottsdale Community College 37-7. The Gauchos are down with a minute and 52 seconds left. Back deep for the Gauchos is Jared Beeman, number 23, and number 3, Antoine Woodbury. Macias getting ready for the kickoff. And there is some, I don't know if they were exchanging wristbands. I don't know what's going on there. But anyways, Macias kicks it off. And it is high, and it is going to be caught at the 16-yard line. And the ball is out and jumped right back on it. Is the Gauchos returner. That's Blake Dawson. It was a short kick. Dawson was the short man at the 16, and he got it ripped out by the Scottsdale cover man. And it looked like getting down there first was Boston Sanders.
Yeah, that was always going to be a hard one there. He was in full stride, and someone just got an arm out and just punched it out immediately. He was still going by the time he realized he had lost the ball. So now it's going to be interesting after losing that fumble to see if head coach Bell will send him back out there to be a running back.
Yeah, and he might have to. They're a little thin right now at running back with Rashi Hodge going down. The last drive for the Artichokes, 6 plays, 3 minutes. The Gauchos did a great job of holding back on the touchdown as the handoff there is to Scott. Scott's at the 35, to the 40, shakes it, tackle, 50, tries to get through 2 tackles, gets dropped on his shoulder, but he's into Scottsdale territory at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, just found his hole right there and punched it and didn't let up. Used his speed to get the rest of the yardage. Got a couple of blocks, and that's what happens when you get out front. You get your blocks. You have a nice little room there to go. And all of a sudden, GCC rolling now. A little bit of momentum going into this one. Minute and a half left to go in this third. And Scott to the left of him now. As Brown from the shotgun takes it in. Handoff to Scott. Met immediately by the Scottsdale Artichokes. Taken down by 2 defensive linemen. And now Brown looks to his sideline to see what's going on next.
And the Gauchos offense after that big play, losing a yard. Like I was saying on the last Scottsdale play, it took them 3 minutes. The big play, the 36-yard completion in the middle of the field from Berry to Young. They got the field goal, and the Gauchos just not making things easier on themselves here as Brown is in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, and he's got Scott in the backfield. Brown waits for the snap, and he's going to get it. Fakes the handoff. Quick throw across the middle. It's tipped up, and it falls. The man tipping the ball up for Scottsdale is one of their linebackers. A good job getting up. That was Walker Adams. Adams looked like he was going to come in a little lower, and he stopped playing zone defense, jumped up, tipped it, and unfortunately nobody in the defensive backfield of Scottsdale was there to pick it up.
Yeah, a little unfortunate tip there. Nice job by Adams of getting to it. It always looked like he was going to go that way. Browns was looking directly at that, and linebacker is able to read it, not looking at his other options. And now he has 4 wideouts here, as well as Scott to his right. 4 wideouts here for Brown. Looks to his left, and it is going to be caught. And Beeman is only going to get about 5 or 6 on that one. Not enough for the first down, and it's going to be 4th. And they're in Scottsdale territory, and this might be 4-down territory. And Brown looking over to the sideline, and I think they're going to go for no, they're actually not. Punt formation coming out here, Seth.
Walker Adams, who was the man that was responsible for breaking up the last play, came in and almost knocked down that screen pass. It got right in between his arms. So Walker Adams playing really well those last 2 plays. We'll see if he can keep it up. As there's 5 seconds left in the quarter, they might run this out. 3, 2, 1, and we are going to the 4th quarter here in Scottsdale. The current score: the Artichokes 37, the Gauchos 7. We'll see if the Gauchos can dig themselves out of it when we come back on the Gauchos live stream network. Welcome back to the Gauchos live stream network. Seth Askelson, Adrian Palaio. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday night. Start of the fourth quarter, and the Gauchos, it's Brown, and the Artichokes were not ready. They were looking for a punt, and we're going to get a timeout by the Artichokes. And Brown really wanted that snap, and they could not get it off. And Brown's asking his offensive line why that wasn't occurring. So unfortunately for the Gauchos, they're not able to get it off. We're going to take the break with the timeout. When we come back, we might actually start the fourth quarter this time here in the Gauchos live stream network. Welcome back to the Gauchos live stream network. The Gauchos are actually going for it this time. It was very uncertain on what they were going to do. Brown in the shotgun with Dawson as his halfback. Here's the snap. Brown looks, throws, and it's going to be way short. It's going to be at least 2 yards short, and that's where it is. And that hitch route is run 2 yards short. And unfortunately, it is going to be a turnover on downs. The man catching that pass short is Sinclair Fahrenholt, the sophomore receiver at a Freeman High School in Virginia.
Yeah, that quick crow route from Fahrenhold, like you said, you got to give that to him right on his numbers, so that way he can at least have a chance to run it up the field. It was almost down to his feet, and he kind of had to dive to catch that one, anyways. And now Scottsdale gonna start out with this one on their own 35-yard line, and it is going to be a different running back out there for the Artichokes. And we'll see what Barry will do here. He has four wide receivers, and the handoff is going to be up the middle, and making his way for about a 3-yard gain is going to be the running back for the Artichokes once we get his name and number.
It looks like it's Bolton, and Bolton the last time he was out there picking up 30-plus yards on his way to the Scottsdale touchdown that was eventually punched in by the quarterback Barry. As Barry's going to be giving instructions to his offensive line, he has two receivers to the left, two to the right, and he's got Bolton in the backfield. Here's the snap to Barry. Barry fakes, quick throw, and it's a screen and dropped by the Scottsdale receiver. And unfortunately for Barry, he had to get that ball out quick to Malik Patterson. It hit Patterson a little. It was a little low, but Patterson still should have grabbed it. And the Gauchos came off the corner there and made Barry throw that kind of awkwardly.
And had Patterson caught that, he was going to be met immediately by some Gauchos defenders. Probably was going to be a crunching hit. And so now it looks like Pfizer is back out there with Barry, and he's going to be on his left-hand side. He's going to have four wideouts again. 14-12 left to go in the game. And so Barry with four wideouts, Pfizer to his left in the shotgun. Glendale not showing blitz. It's fumbled on the snap, and still having it is Barry looking for someone to get to. He throws it, but it goes back. That's a fumble on the play, and they're just going to say that It was an incomplete pass despite it going backwards.
Well, no, the ball popped out and it rolled out of bounds. The Gauchos kind of stood around looking where the ball was, and it was rolling into their sideline. Unfortunately, the Gauchos couldn't pick it up. It would have been great field position. They are getting the ball back anyways. At least it would assume so, as Scottsdale's bringing out the punt formation. But it really would have been nice for an offense that's had a hard time moving the ball to get it back in Scottsdale territory. It's going to be Jamon Jones, the quarterback, a starting quarterback last year for the Gauchos, back to return the punt. Here's the snap to Macias. He's going to get the punt off on the 22, and Jones is going to back up to the 17, and it's caught and getting around a couple defenders and up the sideline to the 30. We apologize. That was actually Jared Beeman back there to catch it, not Jamon Jones, but Beeman, who's put on a decent show return-wise, and he's gotten a couple of catches in the offense. And for a team who's really struggled offensively, Beeman, a good bright spot for that offense.
Now, even with a nice return, we actually have a Scottsdale Artichoke kind of hobbling off the field, favoring that right leg a little bit, just hobbling off a little bit, quickly getting off. 13 and a half minutes left to go, and the GCC offense comes back out, and it is going to be, that's Brown still out there, and that is going to be number 24, Dawson out there now. Remember, he fumbled on the return earlier on in the half, so it's going to be interesting to see if his ball protection is a little bit better, as it's going to be a keeper from Brown, taken down by his ankles from a nice tackle, only gaining about 1 or 2 on the play, second down and about 9.
Yeah, Brown that time deciding to keep it. And I think if he let Dawson have it, he would have at least picked up 4 or 5 yards. Dawson had the corner, but the Scottsdale defense swarms Brown, a host of tacklers. And it is going to be second down and 8 for the Gauchos. Brown in the shotgun set. Dawson still his running back. We haven't seen much of Gregory Scott here in this second half. As here's the shotgun snap a little low. He fakes it to Dawson. He actually gives it to Dawson, and Dawson's going to get back to where the drive started at the Gauchos 23 to bring up a 3rd and 10.
Yeah, quick little read option play there and hands it off. And you got to wonder if he had just kept it there. He maybe had a little bit of a lane on that right side, as it's now going to be a 3rd and long play here. And you got to wonder if that ball is going to have to go out of the hands of Brown now. He's kind of have to pass it here. He's got Dawson once again. He's going to be on his left-hand side. He's got 4 wideouts here. And you got to assume this is going to be a passing play. He hasn't passed that much today, as Brown is in the shotgun with Dawson to his right, 4 wideouts. Linebackers starting to show blitz here for Scottsdale. They're going to bring the heat. They do just that. And a big throw here, and it looks to be a good one, and incomplete, as it was a nice throw in on stride over to Whitley, the 3rd, but just getting tipped at the last second by the Scottsdale defensive back and going in and out of the hands of him.
Yeah, and in coverage, Omari McCauley step for step with Whitley the 3rd. And Whitley definitely had a chance for that, but McCauley got his hand in there. For the Gauchos, they needed a play like that to work, and unfortunately it didn't, and they're going to bring out the punt team. So Rasmussen is going to be the punter for the Gauchos, and the Gauchos, once again, struggling on offense outside of their opening drive. They went down the field scoring a touchdown, looked very promising for that offense. Unfortunately, it hasn't been too great after that, as Rasmussen barely gets the punt away, and it is going to be kicked to Kudjo Young, and picking the ball up was one of the Artichokes, and it looks like it's Omar Hemphill Toledo. Might have even been Trayvon Harris. And no, it was Cujo Young. Cujo Young went over and picked it up, and he got smacked by Greg Garrett.
Absolutely. Just made a last-second decision to pick that up. Thought he could be a little bit cheeky and just get a quick little return in. That was not the case. GCC was well aware of what he was trying to do and took him down immediately. And so now we're going to see Barry come back out, and I think that's Bolton that's going to come back out there with him, as Barry getting the offensive line ready. He has 4 receivers out there, including a tight end. Bolton over to his left. And taking is going to be Barry. Bolton on the halfback stretch there. Looks to gain about 3 yards on that one, just putting it up the middle. Nice job by the GCC defense of getting to it. And in on the stop was number 64, Travis Davis.
Yeah, and it looks like Scottsdale now is going to be content to try to run this clock out. They are up 37-7, 11 and a half left here in this fourth quarter. The GCC defense just struggle on a few drives. There's times where they look like they did at Phoenix College, and there's times where they just look a little lost out there. As here comes the snap to Barry, and it's a shotgun snap. He gets it. He fakes it. A quick screen out to the left side, and the Gauchos are going to be able to get to him, but not to the receiver, but not before he picks up a first down into Gauchos territory at the 49-yard line. It's almost a glorified handoff, like we've talked about, as that throw was out to Devin Neal, who ran a flat screen in the second quarter for a 53-yard touchdown. This time he picks up a first down to keep the chains and the clock moving for Scottsdale. As the new quarterback is actually Azir Sanders, as Sanders now is in the shotgun, and Sanders waits and gets the snap. He's going to hand it off, and churning away for about 7 yards, and it'll bring up second down. As like I said, a new quarterback in there is Isaiah Sanders, a quarterback out of Franklin High School and his hometown, Franklin, New Jersey. 5'11 sophomore, 191 pounds. We'll see how many passes he throws. He did throw a good screen, and right now it just seems like he's handing it off. So it's now going to be second down and 4 from the Gauchos 43 as Scottsdale is marching and running the time off, approaching 10 minutes left here in the game. Here's the shotgun snap to Sanders. He's still waiting for it. He gets it. He's going to hand it off and stuffing it. No, it's Sanders is the keeper, and he gets it to the 36. So we've seen Sanders play effectively, and they're not asking him to do much. Just keep those chains and the clock moving.
Absolutely. A 30-point lead, you can afford to put out your second string now. And a little bit under 10 minutes left to go, and the second string is doing pretty good against this GCC defense. Sanders getting a quick little first down. They're on the run, and we're going to see what they do now. Still no huddle offense, getting these guys acclimated to the play. As Sanders now in there from the shotgun. He has 3 wide receivers, 2 out to his right, giving some instructions to his offensive line now. Sanders here, waiting for the snap. Playing a 3-4 defense are the Gauchos. Moving over to the right is the linebacker, and finally taking it into Sanders and handing the ball off, and immediately met by the Gauchos for no gain on the play.
And Cole Sharp has been the feature back on this, and the combination of Sanders and Sharp, it was Bolton early on, and once they moved the ball up the field a little bit, bring up a second and down and 10 on that run, now 9 minutes and counting as we roll towards the end of this game. The combination of Sanders and Sharp, both backups. Sharp is a freshman out of McGill-Tulane High School, and his hometown is Mobile, Alabama. And so Scottsdale setting up for a second and 10 as they're letting pretty much all of the play clock run down. It's at 15 now, and Sanders waits for his snap as the play clock reaches 12, 11, and he finally gets the snap, hands it off up the middle, and it's going to be Pfizer this time as he's going to push his way a yard before the first down, and it's going to be third down and 1 at the Gauchos' 28-yard line.
And once again, Pfizer has been a difference maker today, just churning his way forward, setting up a manageable third down and short. They can just keep on running the clock out like this, getting these first downs on the ground, and just win the game this way, as it's going to be Pfizer staying out there with Sanders. 4 wideouts here for Sanders. We saw him do a couple quick screen passes already, as well as run the ball. He's got a third down and 1. Play clock is not running. As Sanders picks up the ball, it's going to look to pass. Wide one, as being handled a little bit over there on the left-hand side was the wide receiver Young. Was intended for him, but it goes out of bounds, and that's going to be a fourth down. And Sanders looking over like he wants to go for it, but they're going to send out the field goal unit now.
And DJ Charles, what's good for this defense, Cujo Young having a hard time being contained outside that pass in the middle where it looked like it was zone coverage. DJ Charles has done a very good job of staying on Young, and maybe Charles earning himself a bigger role in the defense. As here comes the field goal from the Scottsdale Artichokes. A 45-yard field goal here for the Artichokes. Here comes the kick for Alfredo Marquez. Marquez gets it down. It is way low. And I don't know if he was rushed coming off the edges. The man we were just talking about before the field goal, DJ Charles. And Charles have been getting in there a lot on the extra points and on the shorter field goals. Marquez, I don't know if he got scared. That ball was laces out, but Macias was able to get it out, and Marquez low line drive. It didn't even make it to the field goal post.
Yeah, Marquez, if you are him, you got to just focus on your task. If you get blocked, you get blocked, but you can't let the rushers scare you. You got to just look down at the ball and know what you're doing and make sure you get that kickoff. But it was just a line drive, knuckleball, just landed about 10 yards short of the field goal post. And now the GCC offense is going to set up shop with about 7.5 minutes left to go. It's going to be John Brown underneath center, handing it off and getting over to the right-hand side for a nice little gain of about 4 or 5 is going to be Dexter Carter featuring for the first time in the game set.
Now coming in at quarterback is Elijah Lawrence for the Gauchos. So they've gone away from either Abdullah or Brown, and it's going to be Elijah Lawrence, the 6'1 freshman out of Mountain Ridge High School. And now the Gauchos, they're trying to run an offense and maybe try to see what's working with their reserves. And unfortunately, you do get that opportunity, but you got to take some sort of positive out of it. And it looks like the Artichokes are bringing 7 to stop the run, and they do. And it's not going to be too much there as well, bringing up a third down.
Yeah, nice job there by the Scottsdale defense of just meeting them initially right there at the point of contact. 6:40 left to go in this game, 37-7. If you're just joining us, the Artichokes of Scottsdale in the lead over the Gauchos tonight. Nice day in Scottsdale, and we got the new quarterback in there for the Gauchos. And we are going to have 4 wideouts here now for the new Glendale quarterback, Elijah Lawrence, once again out of Mountain Ridge High School. 30-point lead here for the Scottsdale Artichokes. Get some reps in for both second teams as that pass is blocked and Lawrence is taken down really hard in the process. And that is going to be a 4th down and 6, and out is going to come Rasmussen for the punts. 6:12 left to go on the clock. It's been a nice showing from Scottsdale on the ground and in the air when they've needed it. Barry has not had to pass it necessarily all that much, but yet again, it's been a nice day for Scottsdale and not the best day for Glendale on the offensive side of the ball. Would you say so, Seth?
Yeah, it's been really hard. Like we said, that first drive, they went right down the field with Brown, and everything looked good. And they came out on their second down, their second drive, drove well, had to end up punting, and ever since then, it has been rough going as Rasmussen comes out, gets the snap, and it is almost blocked again by Ladamior Hervey, and the kick bounces out of bounds in Scottsdale territory, and the referee will mark it at the 35. When we come back here on the Gauchos live stream network, the final 6 minutes and 3 seconds. The Artichokes 37, your Gauchos 7. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Gauchos live stream network. 6:03 left here in the second game of the season. The Artichokes 37, your Gauchos 7. Sanders is the quarterback again for Scottsdale. He's going to wait in the shotgun formation. He gets it, and now he's going to run right on the play action. Sanders gets through one tackle, and he's going to get slammed out of bounds as he gets dragged down to his knees and pulled out by Greg Garrett. And Garrett, we've been saying his name a lot this season so far. He picked up a fumble for a touchdown, always in on the quarterback, always in on the run game. And when we talked to Coach Bell in the preseason, he said he was really impressed by his linebacking core, and I have been as well so far.
Yeah, just doing a nice job of getting the quarterback there. 6-yard loss about on that one. It's going to set up a second down and around 16 now.
What I like from Sanders on that play is when he ran, he made sure to get his knees down in bounds to keep that clock running. As Sanders is now back in the shotgun, he's got 2 receivers to his left, 1 to the right, and a tight end to the right. Sanders looks over as the Gauchos bring him in off the edge. And there's a throw, and it is intended for his receiver downfield, Derek Brown Jr., and it is incomplete as there's a lot of whistles and there's a flag backed by the quarterback. On the coverage there was Roman Vital. And a roughing the passer call on Jordan Watt. We've seen him have a couple sacks. Actually, on Trey Glasscock, excuse me, 93 is Jordan Watt for Scottsdale, who has actually had a couple sacks on that defense. Trey Glasscock with the roughing the passer, and unfortunately, what would have been a third down turns into first down, and the clock stops. So Scottsdale most likely going to run the ball here as Sanders as the quarterback, replacing Barry, who played extreme, not amazing, not great completion percentage wise, but he does have 3 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. As in the backfield with Sanders is Sharp. Sharp gets the handoff to the 45 and to the 47-yard line inside on the right side is where he'll be marked, bringing up a second down for the Artichokes.
Yeah, just a nice job by Sharp gaining a couple yards there. They can keep punching forward for 3, 4 yards every single time. This game's going to be over rather quickly. 5 minutes now left to go in this one. 37-7 the score. And Sanders looking over to his bench for the call. He's going to have 3 wideouts here, as well as Sharp to his left. The Glendale defense showing blitz for a second, now pulling off slightly, looking content to play some zone defense. And the handoff is kept. Sanders at the very last second pulling it away, and it might have been a good idea as he gets out for about 4 yards on that one. And it looked like he was always going to hand it off, and at the last second just ripped it out of the hands of his running back there.
That's a dangerous play, too, because when you make that last second decision like that, we saw that ball kind of start to flip end over end when he was pulling it out. I thought that ball was going to hit the dirt. Like you said, that was a good decision, though. He only picked up 7 yards and was met by about 5 of the 11 members of the Gauchos defense, but he keeps that clock running, gets it to third and manageable. Now he doesn't have to throw a pass on third down, risk stopping that clock. I'm sure Scottsdale wants to get out of here with this win as he is in the shotgun set with the running back Cole Sharp. Sanders looks, sees the man coming off the blitz, and there is 1 second left on the play clock. He's going to get it off just in time, and no, he is not. Coming off the edge was Tristan Decker, and if you're Decker, you wanted to get a great hit there on the quarterback, but he might have been saved by the flag. It's going to be actually a false start, not a delay of game, probably caused with that play clock running down.
Yeah, I think that the offensive line wanted to just get started because they knew that play clock was coming, so they made a movement on the line. That's going to end up costing them, and it's going to be now a third down and long. As it looks like the Scottsdale offense was expecting that to be a longer penalty, as they went back quite some ways. Third down and 8 now from their own 47. Sanders in the shotgun, Sharp over to his left, 4 receivers, and once again 8 seconds left to go on the clock, and no really assertion being shown here. Gets down to 2 seconds and he takes it in on the pass. Pass is caught, and forward motion is going to mark him just short, as it's going to be completed over to his tight end there, but once again short by about 2 yards of the first down.
And George Walter, what you learn as a receiver, as tight end, is on third down you got to run those routes to the sticks, and we saw that earlier with Beeman with the Gauchos, and this time with the tight end for the Artichokes, and they're going to go for it. I think they're just trying to take as much time as they can off the clock as Sanders is under center. They might try to draw Glendale off sides. It looks like that what they were doing as Scottsdale takes their second timeout of the half. 2:47 left here in the fourth quarter. When we come back, we'll have the final moments of this game. Your Gauchos down 37-7 here on the Gauchos live stream network. Welcome back to the Gauchos live stream network. My name is Seth Askelson along with Adrian Plyo. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday night. Gauchos down 37-7 to the Scottsdale Artichokes on their way to starting 0-2. This time it will be Macias on 4th down and 2 for Scottsdale to punt at the Gauchos 48 as Macias punts it, and it is back deep, and it is caught and falling down at the 7-yard line was Tristan Decker. You wonder if you just let it roll. He caught it at the 8 and fair catch, and he fell down. So either way, he was going to be pinned inside his own 10-yard line with 2:38 remaining.
Yeah, you almost want to wonder if he goes for the fair catch and then kind of just runs out of the way of the ball at the last second, give the illusion that he's going to catch it to the return team of Scottsdale, and they're going to be pinned inside their own 10-yard line. You never want that, especially with the low amount of time left in this game and with such a disadvantage. 30 point is the deficit as the play clock is going to run down, and once again, the quarterback coming out is going to be Elijah Lawrence, and it looks like he has Sanders to his right.
It's going to be Dawson to his right.
Dawson once again, actually. And he's going to be taken down for a loss of about 2 on that one, as it comes down to 2.5 minutes left to go in this game. And Dawson not able to gain a little bit there. And he came into the game initially and really burst out with some 10-yard, 11-yard runs, Seth. And ever since the fumble that he had on that return, he's kind of slowed down a little bit. Maybe he lost the confidence.
That and it's at the end of the game. A lot of these guys are tired. The Gauchos have been getting beat up for pretty much 3/4 of this game. And on the 2nd and 11, here's the snap. It's low again, and Dawson gets the handoff. He's going to go up the middle. He's actually going to gain some positive yardage, maybe a yard. They're going to give him where the drive started back at the Gauchos 9-yard line. We have a minute and 50 and counting. Almost towards the end of this game. Don't forget to stick around. We will have a post-game show. Adrian Plyo, Seth Askelson. Then we'll also have Andrew Bell, and we'll wait for TJ Mathewson to get back up here too. So 138 and counting left. Dawson in the backfield along with Elijah Lawrence. Lawrence is going to get the shotgun snap. It's low one more time, and Lawrence looks. He's going to get around 2 Scottsdale defenders. He's finally wrapped up by 3 of them, and it is going to bring up 4th down. The Gauchos offense, the time runs away, 1:15 and counting. You have to imagine when they punt the ball, Scottsdale's going to run the clock out, and looking ahead for the Gauchos, they go on to Snow College. Not an easy trip, about an 18, 19-hour bus ride. You leave about Thursday night. You get there Friday. You spend all day there Friday. You play a game Saturday in elements. It's not going to be snowing or hard elements like it would be later in the season, but definitely a different environment. You're tired getting off a bus after a long ride, and you just got beat up in this football game. And just want to see the Gauchos respond next week at Snow College. As here comes the punt from Rasmussen, about 5 yards deep in his end zone, not blocked again. It's been very close, but Rasmussen kicks it, and it's going to be out at the 46-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 50, right at midfield. 31 seconds left. We're going to stay here. We're not going to go to a break. And Adrian, it's been a tough night for the Gauchos.
Absolutely, and just wanted to talk about that punt, all things considered. He got it out to the 50-yard line. That's a 50-yard punt, so a pretty good one there from Rasmussen. Yeah, the GCC defense just outmatched by this Scottsdale offense, who their offensive line have just been bigger and stronger and just getting the run game going with Pfizer. Barry has gotten the passes off when he needs to, and it's just been a pretty good day all around for Scottsdale. And Glendale's definitely going to have to work on the finer things when it comes to the defensive side of the ball and also that special teams with a couple of fumbles and unable to get the tackles on when Scottsdale is returning. And it's just going to be victory formation here for Scottsdale. They're going to take the one knee down, and that is going to do it for all of us here from Scottsdale Community College. The final score is going to be the Artichokes 37 and the Gauchos 7. As the time is winding down, we will be back with the post-game show with us and our colleagues back here in Scottsdale Community College as the time is finally winding down. And once again, the final score, the Scottsdale Artichokes 37, the Glendale Gauchos 7. Glendale will see their record drop down to 0-2 as they head off to Utah next week to take on Snow College. We'll be right back with the post-game show here on the Gauchos Livestream Network.